Hello Year 4, I'm here with your English lesson for Tuesday the 24th of November. We're going to carry on looking at explanation text today. Now you've finished your pyramid text, but we've had a bit of a change of plan. We were going to go on to do some research into electricity and then write our final piece. I've decided to save that for next week when you're back at school. And I've come up with something which I think is a little bit more exciting for you to have a go at for the next couple of days. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. So today we are learning to write an explanation text for young children. Now we'll talk more about that in a moment. First thing I want you to do, I've got a challenge for you to improve my work. So I have written, I got out of bed, I ate my breakfast, I fed my cat, I read a book. Now, hopefully, if you were to be honest with me, when I asked for feedback on that work, you would tell me, it's okay. There's nothing technically wrong with it, Mrs. Cross, but it's a bit boring. So I'd like you to pause the video now, and I'd like you to come up with ways to improve my work. So can you rewrite my sentences and make them more interesting? You might add fronted adverbials. You might add interesting adjectives. You might add powerful verbs. You might just add a bit more detail. Okay, so pause the video and improve my sentences, please. Right, welcome back. I'm sure you've had lots of excellent ideas for how to make my work better. I have pulled my socks up and had a go at writing something which is better quality, and I've shared it with you below. So on Saturday morning, I excitedly got out of bed. I've added a fronted adverbial here with a comma after it, and I've added an adverb as well. I excitedly got out of bed. I was looking forward to the fun weekend I had planned. As hungry as a lion, comma, so I've got another fronted adverbial. I ate my scrummy breakfast. Peanut butter on toast is my favourite. I fed my sleek black cat, so I've added some adjectives, as soon as I had finished. She was delighted and softly rubbed around my legs in thanks. So there's lots more detail. After that, comma, that's my fronted adverbial, I grabbed a new book from my bookcase. Excitedly, so I put a few in, look, excitedly, I opened it up, ready to devour the words inside. I used a really nice verb there, devour. Okay, hopefully you came up with something as well, which was much better than my example. My next challenge for you this morning, I'd like you to come up with examples of titles of explanation text. I want you to think up as many as you can. I'm going to help you out with the first two. So you might have an explanation text on how the water cycle works. Or you might have one which you've already written on why did the ancient Egyptians build pyramids. Could you please come up with 5 more possible titles for an explanation text? Have a guess what you think might be under my boxes. Pause the video where you come up with these and then come back and rejoin me. Hopefully you've had lots of great ideas. I'm going to remove the boxes now and show you what's underneath. So what causes an earthquake? Now just remember there are probably millions of different titles we could come up with. So your titles are not wrong. These are just the ones which I chose. What are the causes of climate change? How a steam engine works. The process of making chocolate. Now this is different from an instruction text which might tell you how to make chocolate. We're not doing how to make chocolate, step 1, step 2, step 3. We're doing the process of making chocolate. What is involved in the process? It's subtly different. And why Year 4 are so amazing. So after your fantastic week last week, I think we could write an explanation text on why Year 4 are so amazing, if only we had time. Now I bet nobody came up with this title here, How Cats Really Work. So this is a real explanation text. It's a real book called How Cats Really Work by a man called Alan Snow. I'll just give you a moment to have a look at the cover. It's quite fun. Okay, so this book is aimed at children, probably children around about your age, although younger children could enjoy it too. There are actually quite a few books aimed at children which are explanation texts. Sometimes, like these two at the bottom, Peep Inside a Tree and See Inside Trains, sometimes they contain real facts. Okay, so they are traditional explanation texts. Sometimes they are a little bit funny or a little bit silly, and they are there to amuse. They are there purely to entertain children and make sure that they enjoy the book. So we've got some across the top here, which I think fall into that category. So How to Babysit a Grandma. This is one of my little 3-year-old Elijah's favourite books. How to Catch Santa, How to Surprise a Dad, and How Santa Really Works. Okay. These ones are not necessarily full of facts. So How to Babysit a Grandma talks about how you need to take your grandma to the park and you need to encourage her to go down the slide and you need to make sure she's happy and safe at night and give her options of where she sleeps. It's not totally serious. It's just there as a bit of fun. Before we go any further, I'm going to show you a few pages from the How Cats Really Work book, because we are going to write our own book later, aimed at children, aimed at young children, so younger than this book is aimed at. Let's just see what kind of thing we are trying to make. So this is the first page of How Cats Really Work. It says, do you know where cats come from, or what really lies beneath their soft and furry exterior? What do cats want from humans, and why are dogs their enemies? To discover the fascinating story of how cats came to live on planet Earth, what the inner workings of these curious creatures look like, and why they have a secret mission, read on. And I'm sure you've noticed that there are some really lovely pictures all around the edge of the page. Okay, these are to engage the young children, to make them want to read on, to make them interested. Right, the next page of the book is a contents page. So it lists all the different categories within the book with the page numbers. So we've got things like where do cats come from, how cats really work, mission Earth, all the way down to cats and dogs and the control of humans. Right at the end, we've got the index page. We'll come back to that in a moment. Again, this page has also got some really exciting pictures on it. Let's have a look at some of these sections. So we've got how cats really work. We have got an amazing picture on this page. It's a little bit difficult to see on the video, but they have drawn the inside of a cat. That's obviously not the real inside of a cat. Okay, this has been made up just to entertain, okay, just to amuse children. If you have a look, number 8 there is the cabin window. So they've labelled it with exactly what's on the picture. Let's have a look at number 23. Can I read it? Oh, I can't quite read that one. I can read number 21. 21 says light. So where is 21 on my picture? See if you can spot it. There we are. Look, there's a light. So they've drawn a picture and they have labelled it. It's really quite fascinating, isn't it? Have a look at another section. This section is called Mission Earth. And again, we've got some really lovely, exciting, colourful, detailed pictures for the children to look at. A long, long time ago, there were 2 races on the planet Nip, the canines and the felines. The felines made life very miserable for the canines by jumping on their heads and forcing them to eat fish and lick themselves clean. The canines got so tired of this that they built a primitive spaceship and set off to find a new home. After 3 weeks, they discovered Earth, where they made friends with humans and became known as dogs. They settled down to a happy and comfortable life until. And we've got an extract from another page of the book now. I just wanted to show you that some of the book is written in comic strip format, just to make it a little bit more interesting for young children and to hold their attention. So as humans do not understand the danger, they often restrain the dogs until it is too late. Dogs may try to communicate, but it is nearly always useless. These are funny pictures. We've got a section here called Cats and Dogs. The secret and terrible mission of the cats is world domination and control of all fish supplies. Their first task is to drive out all dogs. This cannot be done by just confrontation, as dogs are usually bigger than cats. so cats must use tactics. Just like in the explanation text we've been writing, we have got bold writing, we've got a little subheading here. Crew of cat ready for battle stations, actions to be taken. Expand fur, uppoint ears, retract claw covers, calculate size of dog and chance of good outcome in conflict, calculate escape route, available trees, fence, etc. So we've got brackets in this, just like Mrs. Clues was talking about last week. You've got get legs ready, spit, yuck, and run. And the facts, they are claiming that this has got factual information, and we know it's made up, but it is written as if it is an explanation text. Just a funny one. Okay, next section, we've got our title across the top, Control of Humans. Humans are very easy for cats to control. Once power is gained over them, humans are very useful for collecting food and providing protection. They can be trained to accept comings and goings at all times of day or night. This leaves cats free to pursue their master plan of world domination and control of all fish supplies. Some humans add escape hatches to their own buildings just for the cats. These should be just big enough for the cats to squeeze through, but just small enough for a dog's head to get stuck. Cats may seem too big for the hole, but this is just an illusion because they come from another planet, space dimension. And again, we've got some really exciting pictures which are funny. I think children would enjoy looking at this book. And then finally, at the end of the book, we've got our index page where they've chosen some key words from throughout the book, and they have written down the pages that those keywords can be found on. So if I am a child who wants to know more about fish, I can go to these pages here. If I want to find the page that talks about rubbish dumps, I can look at page 17. Okay, so the index page is useful. Now, your task then, you are going to write your own children's explanation text. It doesn't have to be full of real facts. You can make it up. You can make it funny and fun and amusing. So how do you think we should write for young children? I'd like you to think about really young children here. So from about the age of 1.5 up to, let's say, 5, 1.5 to 5. So your book is aimed at that audience. That is who you are writing for. Now, I put a picture here of my little boy Theo. He's only just turned 1, so he's a little bit young. But this is him looking at a book. I wonder if you can guess what he is enjoying about that book. I'd like you to pause the video now and come up with some ideas of how you might write for young children. What sorts of things might you include or not include? Right, welcome back. I've got some ideas here for you. Young children need to be able to understand the writing. So they need to have quite simple vocabulary. There were some quite tricky words in the book that we just looked at because it's aimed at older children, a bit like you. They had words like canine and feline. So you're going to use easier vocabulary when you write for really young children. However, you can sometimes put some quite tricky words in occasionally. For example, in the Gruffalo, there's the word astounding. Okay, and my little boy Elijah, when he was 2, he used to be able to use the word astounding because he learnt it from the Gruffalo. It's important that there are some words that challenge them so that they can learn, but most of them need to be easy. Exciting pictures. So Theo is enjoying the pictures in this book. So make sure you have got some exciting pictures in your work. Make sure they're nice and colourful if you can. Your book should be fun or funny. And your book should be about a topic which interests young children. Okay. So my little boys wouldn't really like to read about food processors or how ovens work or structural engineering. They want to read about something that interests them. I wonder what those topics could be. I would like you to pause the video and I'd like you to think of 4 different things that a young child between the age of 1.5 and 5 might like to read about. So hopefully you've come up with some ideas. I have asked the children in my life what their favourite things are, what they might like to read about, and this is what they said. So Elijah, who is 3, said he likes dinosaurs. Frankie, who is Mrs. Cluse's little girl, she is nearly 3. She'll be 3 early next year. She likes horses. Theo couldn't tell me what he likes because he can't say very many words yet, but he can actually say the word cat because he loves cats so much. So he would like to read about cats. And Alex, Mrs. Cluse's little one, likes rabbits. We've got dinosaurs, horses, cats, and rabbits. You are very welcome to choose one of those 4 topics, or you may come up with something of your own. You might have trains, or cars, or lions, or dogs, or what else could we have that children might like? Ooh, elves, fairies, giants, boats. Okay, it's entirely up to you which topic you choose. Now, I would say you need to choose something that you know something about. Okay, we haven't built in lots of time for research. Okay, I'd like you to write about something you already know about. So if you have a cat at home, you might want to write about a cat. Or if you have a dog, you might want to write about a dog. Or if one of your hobbies is that you're really interested in cars, you might want to write about cars. So choose something you already know about. And don't forget, the facts don't have to all be correct. Okay, this is a little bit of fun. Now I chose, because Elijah likes dinosaurs so much, I think I know quite a lot about dinosaurs now. So I chose to plan my work all around how dinosaurs work. So I've chosen my title. My book's going to be called How Dinosaurs Work. And then I've decided on 3 different sections I would like within my book. So we're just going to do 3. My first section that I've decided Elijah would enjoy is what did dinosaurs like to eat? My second section is what were the different types of dinosaurs? And my third section is who was the scariest dinosaur? And then underneath each of those sections, I have just bullet pointed what I'm going to write about. So I've not put lots of detail in, it's just there to remind me. So what did dinosaurs like to eat? I am going to talk about carnivores and herbivores. Hopefully you remember those words from our science work last term. In the what were the different types of dinosaurs section, I am going to write about big dinosaurs, maybe things like a Tyrannosaurus rex, small dinosaurs, and flying dinosaurs, things like a pterodactyl. And in my last section, who was the scariest dinosaur? I've decided I think the scariest dinosaur was probably the Tyrannosaurus rex. I'm going to talk about their appearance, so what they look like, their bite, their weight, and their behavior. And then I've just had to think about some of the key words I might have to use in my writing. So I might use the word diet in the what did dinosaurs like to eat section, or meat, carnivore, herbivore. I might talk about dinosaurs being reptiles. I might talk about the Tyrannosaurus rex, the pterodactyl, fighting, and teeth. So I have just written down a list of words that I might use in my work to go into my index. So what you need to do now is to plan your work. In a moment, you are going to pause the video. You are going to decide what your title is going to be. I suggest it's something like how something or another works, how cats work, how dogs work, how aeroplanes work, how elves work. You are then going to pick your 3 different areas you are going to write about. It is entirely up to you. It might be what do dogs like to do? What do dogs eat? And what are the different types of dogs? It might be where do elves come from? What is an elf's favourite pastime? And where do elves live? Okay, it is entirely up to you. It doesn't have to be real. Okay, so choose what your 3 different areas are going to be and write those in the 3 boxes. And then just bullet point underneath, not lots of detail. This is just to remind you when you come to write tomorrow, bullet point the things you are going to talk about in each section. When you get to the end, I'd like you to write down all the key words you think you might use. So pause the video and do your planning now, please. Right, well done, Year 4. That's the first step done. We've got 2 more things we need to do in our lesson today. The next thing I'd like you to do is the introductory paragraph. I'm just going to take you back to that page in our cat book so you know what I mean. It's this page here. This is the first page in the book. You are going to write your introductory paragraph today. Now you need to have a think how you want to present your book. You might just want to write straight onto the pages of your home learning book. That's absolutely fine. No problem with that at all. You might want to get some paper and fold your paper into a book. You might want to use your computer and type your work and then use the computer to find some pictures. Hey, I don't mind how you present your work as long as you do it really neatly. So decide how you are going to present your work before you start writing your introductory paragraph. Now you need to, if you are using paper, you need to make sure you leave a front cover. So fold your paper, leave a blank page for your front cover, and then open out your book, and your introductory paragraph will go on the first inside page. If you are writing straight into your home learning book, you can just start writing the introductory paragraph onto the lines. So this is my introductory paragraph. This one's about dinosaurs. Do you know what happened to the dinosaurs? Have you ever wondered what their favourite meal is? Whether they prefer a hamburger or a plate of spaghetti? To discover more about these fascinating, magnificent creatures who lived millions of years ago, read on. Now, you might decide you want to write about dogs. So let's have a go together at writing one about dogs, just so you know exactly what you are doing today. Let's change colour. I'm going to go for blue. Hang on a second, bear with me. I'd like to make sure I'm writing in the right size. How could we start our paragraph about dogs? Have a think. I wish you were here to help me out. Are you a fan of dogs? Have you seen lots of lovely dogs in your local park? You have noticed how different they can be. What else could you have? Oh, you can have what dogs eat. So, have you ever wondered what they eat when they get hungry? They like pizza as much as you do. Don't forget, we can be silly. Read on if you would like to find out more. Okay, that's my example paragraph about dogs. I've used some rhetorical questions. These are questions that we ask that we don't expect an answer to. Are you a fan of dogs? Have you seen lots of lovely dogs in your local park? Perhaps you have noticed how different they can be. Have you ever wondered what they eat when they get hungry? Perhaps they like pizza as much as you do. Read on if you'd like to find out more. Oh, I think you've hopefully spotted my error. I've made a mistake here. Look, have you ever wondered what they eat when they get hungry? Question mark. And I've used the word perhaps twice, so I think I can make that better. Have you ever wondered what they eat when they are hungry? Maybe they like pizza as much as you do. That's better. Okay. So you're going to pause the video now. You are going to write your own introductory paragraph. Keep my 2 examples on the screen to help you. Make sure that the questions that you ask in your introductory paragraph link to what you are going to write about. So if you're going to write about what your animal eats, and talk about what they eat in this paragraph. If you're going to write about what they like to do, you might put the question, have you ever wondered what rabbits like to do? Okay. So make sure that the questions you ask link to what you're actually going to write about. So pause the video, write your introductory paragraph, please. Okay, well done. We're moving on to our final bit of writing today. We're going to write our contents page. Now, if you are writing it on paper, you can move on to the next page in the booklet you have made. If you are writing it on your computer, you might want to move on to the next page on your computer. If you are writing it onto the lines in your home learning book, just leave a couple of lines and then write the title contents. Okay, your contents page is the easy bit. So all you need to do is go back to your planning sheet, find out what your 3 questions were and write them down. So I have got, what did dinosaurs like to eat? What are the different types of dinosaurs? And who was the scariest dinosaur? And then I've got my index and I've put page numbers next to each one of those. That is all you need to write today, Year 4. So if you have got some time left, this is the time when you can start drawing some really exciting pictures around your work. Or if you are using a computer, you might like to find some pictures and copy and paste them into your work. Or you might even like to try and draw those pictures using the computer. It is entirely up to you. So if you have time, this is when you can start to decorate your work. And then tomorrow's lesson, we are going to write our 3 different sections. So I really look forward to coming back tomorrow and doing that with you. I'd like you to give yourself a star in the next step today. You don't have to write this down. You can do this verbally. You can say it to yourself, or even better, you could say it to somebody else if they are with you. So give yourself a pat on the back. What have you done really well? And then I'd like you to give yourself a next step. What do you need to remember when you write tomorrow? You might say, I need to remember to include adjectives. I need to remember to check my spellings, or I need to remember to put punctuation at the end of every sentence. So give yourself a next step for tomorrow. Well done today, Year 4. I hope you enjoyed our lesson and I will see you soon. Bye.